Welcome to all the participants and viewer and a very good afternoon. Today we have with us Shruti Sahu, CGPSC Rank 9. So I would like to congratulate Shruti on her big achievement. Congratulations, Shruti,
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
and thank you so much for joining us today in this enlightening session which we will be having with Shruti today. So today we are going to discuss with Shruti all her strategies and her exam tips for the aspirants who want to sit for CGPSC or for any other exam in future. Now, I would just like to give a small disclaimer that whatever exam tips and strategies Shruti is sharing is her own, right? आप इसको अपने अकॉर्डिंग कस्टमाइज कर सकते हो बिकॉज ईच स्टूडेंट हैज़ अ डिफरेंट सिचुएशन प्लस द स्टेट विच यू वांट टू गिव might have a different pattern which is different from छत्तीसगढ़'s pattern. So आप उस अकॉर्डिंग कस्टमाइज कर लेना बट yes, we are going to follow the path which Shruti followed because as we know that she is the best and the most uh, competent person to guide us through this exam. So we are going to discuss CGPSC specific syllabus and strategies with Shruti Sahu. So Shruti, pehle to I want to ask you, how are you feeling after your big success?
Ma'am, first of all, I would like to thank you for calling me here. And the feeling which I am getting through passing this exam is the feeling of satisfaction which any aspirant would get. So वो एक satisfactory feeling है कि हाँ चलो clear कर लिया. So this is one of the best moment of our life before joining and after the result, which we are enjoying. So it is one of the best feeling, ma'am.
Great, great. And any changes now, like after you cleared the exam, you felt any change in your own self, in your personality, in your identity?
मैम फॉर मी व्हाट आई फेल्ट इज क्योंकि मेरा जर्नी जो था वो थोड़ा लंबा था बिकॉज पहले से ही मैंने प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट किया था तो मेरे पर्सनालिटी में एंड मेरे डेली लाइफ में चेंजेस मैंने विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम देखा है सो इन एन इंडिविजुअल इफ आई वुड से एंड आजू बाजू के इन्वायरमेंट्स में मैंने अगर देखूँ लोगों को तो सबके में एक सेटिस्फैक्ट्री फीलिंग है not a big change as of now because as an aspirant we have already like हमने वो जिंदगी जी ली है ऐसा जो होता है कि हाँ सक्सेस के बाद क्या होगा सो बस वही है सेटिस्फैक्टरी फीलिंग है दैट्स इट
ग्रेट. ओके. सो श्रुति, पहले तो हम आपसे ये जानना चाहते हैं दैट लाइक आपने कैसे पढ़ाई की, कहाँ से पढ़ाई कंप्लीट करी, एंड इन विच ईयर डिड यू पास योर लॉ, विच स्ट्रीम डिड यू चूज? You were BA LLB, BSc LLB, BCom LLB. So we want to know all the minute details about the qualifications also.
So my graduation is of 2021. So I joined in 2016 and graduated in 21. I have completed BA LLB honors from Hidayatullah National Law University, Naya Raipur. So from there, I have completed BA LLB honors now.
Okay, okay. That is like a very good college from where you have completed your graduation. And apart from that, have you like done LLM, or did you ever want to do LLM or something else?
Uh, LLM actually मैंने सोचा तो था करने का but it was my main priority before my graduation itself was judiciary. So what it came in my mind because I completely want to focus on this particular thing. Let's get the first opportunity of giving this exam in itself. So मैंने focus फिर shift कर लिया अपना judiciary पे ही specifically और मैंने LLM नहीं दिया. But if I would want to give suggestion LLM doing LLM along with the judiciary is one of the best option because we always need to keep some backup for ourselves at that moment when we are the aspirants, because we don't know what is written in our fate. We can only give our best in our journey. So that is one of the best option if I could suggest to anyone.
Okay, that's a nice suggestion. So you think that LLM and judiciary can be managed together, right?
It could be for me because I was a student who was completely focusing on the academics. So it completely depends on the individual student in itself. मुझे नहीं लगता कि दोनों मैनेज करना कोई प्रॉब्लम होगा, because being a law student we are very well versed with daily challenges which are coming in front of us. To read new things, as we are seeing the new laws which are coming, it is one of the challenge for every fraternity, every member who is a part of the law. So this we could manage as a member of the legal field, I would say.
Okay, okay, that's nice. And now I can see like students who have joined us in this live session. So for them, I just want to tell them that अगर आपके कोई भी questions है, if you have any questions which you want to ask to Shruti, please post it in the comment section and we will take it up at the end of this session. So all the questions will be answered today. Okay. Shruti, why did you choose law as a career? Like, why law? पहले तो स्टार्टिंग में आपने लॉ क्यों चुना और फिर उसके बाद आपने किस तरीके से चैनलाइज करा दैट यू वांटेड टू बिकम अ जज एंड नॉट एनीथिंग एल्स.
Ma'am, this has been one of the best question of my life till now, if I would say, because I belong from a family which has no relation with the legal background. All of the members in my family mostly belongs from the teaching background. So when I was in 12th, when I passed my 12th, one thing which I told to my parents is I don't want to do any traditional, I don't want to go in a traditional field. I'm not saying that any field is wrong or something, but it has in my mind from the beginning that I want to do something different, which I would love to work in. So till that time, I had no idea about the CLAT. After my 12th, I started exploring different fields. I made in my mind that if I want to give 1 year extra to explore different fields, I would give it. After exploring, I got to know about the CLAT uh, through my some of the not close friends, but kahin se mujhe pata chala about the CLAT. And I started researching about it, and I got to know कि मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट आ रहा है इस फील्ड में, बिकॉज लीगल फील्ड में एंटर करना इज समथिंग वेरी एक्सेप्शनल, इफ आई वुड से, क्योंकि हर कोई ये चीज नहीं कर पाता है. एक पहले तो एक जुनून आना चाहिए कि ओके आई वांट टू बिकम अ लॉयर और एनी पर्सन इन अ लीगल फील्ड. सो आफ्टर एक्सप्लोरिंग मुझे पता चला कि क्लैट का जो एग्जाम है उसका डेट ऑलरेडी निकल चुका था. सो आई टुक 1 year ड्रॉप and I entered I gave CLAT and I cleared and I entered the law school. And for the judiciary, and specifically after like every year, I did internships at different places, in corporate also, through under the lawyers also. So after my internships, I got to know that where my interest is actually inclining towards. In corporate, I have worked, but I was not able to give my 100% at that place. So I found that this is not my caliber where I would be able to work. So with the passage of time, with my experiences, I cleared my mind that okay, I want to definitely go in a judicial services.
Okay, that's so nice. That's so nice, Shruti. Because you know, I think काफी सारे students तो पहले समझ ही नहीं पाते हैं कि उन्हें करना क्या है, which is a problem. It's a general problem. I feel like it's not something abnormal. या फिर आप बिल्कुल आउट ऑफ द बॉक्स सोच रहे हो, नहीं. आई थिंक हम सब इस स्टेज से गुजरते हैं कि हमें करना क्या है. पहले तो हमें स्ट्रीमलाइन करना होता है 12th के बाद कि हमें कौन सा स्ट्रीम चूज करना है, साइंस, कॉमर्स, लॉ, एंड देर आर सो मेनी स्ट्रीम्स. देन उस स्ट्रीम में वापस चैनलाइज करना, व्हाट डू यू वांट टू बिकम, like whether you want to go for practice, you want to go for academics, you want to go for judiciary. Again, that is a very big problem for students to choose. So I think ये हमें पहले से ही start कर देना चाहिए to to understand what do we really want to do. बिकॉज़ अगर हम नहीं करते हैं तो काफ़ी टाइम बाद में हमारा चला जाता है, एंड देन वी हैव नथिंग बट some regrets that we have just wasted the time, though there is like ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, आप स्टार्ट करने के लिए कभी भी there is no time, you can start at any stage, right? There is I just watched a movie, I think everyone watched that, uh, which has just recently come on UPSC,
World
right?
Fail.
And yes, yes, and there was this restart wala program which inspired us all.
Yes.
Okay, so with this we have so many questions also coming in. We have so many questions which I'll take up at the end of this session. Before that, Shruti, yes. So I also want to know your preparation tips now. Time to come to the big revelation. हमें स्टेप बाय स्टेप जानना है सीजीपीएससी के लिए कैसे प्रिपेयर करते हैं, प्रिलिम्स, मेंस एंड इंटरव्यू. So please give a detailed, uh, knowledge about this to all the viewers and aspirants.
Okay, so we all are aware that this exam contains three stages. First is preliminary, second is mains, and third one is interview. First of all, I would like to tell every aspirant that never take light to any stage. I have heard many a times people saying that okay, interview to bina pade bhi ho jayega. Never think about it. Never think like this. Every stage has its own importance. So one of the thing which is different in Chhattisgarh judicial services is that we do not get much questions at any stage. There are only 100 questions in the preliminary where you will not get any sort of minus marking thing. Secondly, for the mains also there is no sort of sections which ask about the general knowledge, so we are clear about that part. We have to focus on the legal thing only. For mains also there is only restriction towards the judgment writing, and second one is the translation from Hindi to English and English to Hindi. So for the preliminary, if I would suggest the preparation tips, is first is that bare acts should be your best friends. Bare acts को ही आपको specifically focus करना है if you wanna focus on the Chhattisgarh Judicial Services. I'm not saying that do not refer the any reference book. Being a law student, being an aspirant, it is very important that हमारा एक जो knowledge हम किसी भी चीज में ले रहे हैं, कोई भी चीज पढ़ रहे हैं, एक holistic preparation हमारा हो. But first thing we need to focus is कि हमारा question paper किस प्रकार का आता है. So most of the questions which we get in the preliminary is the bare act based question. So specifically focus on that only. With the passage of time, we are seeing the changes which is going with the every year's paper. Some of the questions are also coming from the conceptual basis. So for that, you can refer a little bit, but the main thing which you have to focus is the bare act. Second thing, if I would suggest कि जो मैंने किया था कि क्योंकि हमारे पास आंसर राइटिंग वाले क्वेश्चंस नहीं आते मेंस में, what I did was anything which I am reading about a particular section of a particular act, just make sure instead of making a different notes, instead of making a notes in a different notebook, for Chhattisgarh Judicial Services aspirant, I would suggest कि आप जो भी notes है, just make it there only. जो भी section है bare act में, उसी के बाजू में ही वो notes छोटे छोटे बनाते जाइए. इस तरीके से प्रेपरेशन में क्या होता है, you will not have to give extra time when you are revising your notes, and at that moment you don't have to like अपना बैरक छोड़ना नहीं पड़ेगा, because when we are going for the exam, before that you need to see your बैरक at once. So उस टाइम पे क्या हो जाएगा, एक सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में भी आपके दिमाग में जो चीजें उस टाइम पे याद नहीं आ रही है, क्योंकि आपने एक बार देखा होगा बैरक, वो चीजें याद आ जाएगी. ये सेकेंड टिप है. थर्ड टिप इफ आई वुड सजेस्ट इज दैट केस लॉस पे हमेशा ध्यान देना, बिकॉज आजकल केस लॉस पे थोड़ा फोकस बढ़ते जा रहा है. लैंडमार्क केस लॉस तो हमेशा याद रखना बहुत ज़रूरी है. किसी भी स्टेज में लैंडमार्क केस लॉस बहुत यूजफुल होते हैं, बट जो भी न्यू केस लॉज अभी आते जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि हमने ये देखा है क्योंकि जुडिशियल एक्टिविज्म बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छे से वर्क हो रहा है यहाँ पे हमारी जुडिशियल सिस्टम में. Because of that, we are getting very good case laws. We are getting very good precedents nowadays. So because of that, we need to focus on the new case laws as well, which might be asked in the exam. You never know. So these are the 3 tips which I would suggest for the preliminary.
Okay, Shruti. I guess these three tips were very helpful. I was also noting down those tips for other students also. So case laws पे focus जो बढ़ रहा है, how to, students always have a issue कि ma'am how to learn case laws. So is there any specific strategy Shruti? आप कैसे learn करते थे, कैसे memorize करते थे और वो retain करना in your memory? uh, इसकी कोई specific strategy या something?
Um, we need to first of all bifurcate the case laws, new case laws, on the basis of the importance. First of all, we need to see that it's कितने bench का ये case है. For example, if it is a constitution bench case, we need to get an in-depth knowledge about it. What was the constituting bench? What was the issue which was raised, and what is the ratio decidendi? What are the dissents, and at the same time, what are the or bite dicta also. Sometimes we need to understand that also. Second thing, अगर हम कुछ ऐसे case laws पढ़ रहे हैं which is not that much important, but which is somehow related to the basic things which is we are reading. For example, if we are reading section 68 of the Indian Evidence Act, or if we are reading section 65B. For example, if I would tell about the 68 in itself, probably I'm not able to remember the case exactly right now, but there was a case of Honorable Supreme Court which has specifically stated that if we have to prove the will, we have to bring at least one attested witness at that moment, whether or not will is registered. There was a case law regarding it. In Madhya Pradesh, also in 2019, second phase, we got a question regarding the will. And the main focus of that judgment writing was to analyze that whether the student is able to अंडरस्टैंड कि इस विल को किस तरीके से प्रूव करेंगे. रजिस्टर्ड है फिर भी आपको अटेस्टेड विटनेस लाना पड़ेगा. सो वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हमारे पास जो अभी करंट केस लॉज आ रहे हैं उसी के बेसिस पे कहीं ना कहीं जजमेंट राइटिंग हो या आंसर राइटिंग हो वो बनते जा रहे हैं. तो इन चीजों पे फोकस करने के लिए वी डू नॉट नीड टू फोकस ऑन कि कितने वहां पे बेंच है, क्या रेशियो था. वी नीड टू जस्ट फोकस कि क्या वहां पे रेशियो निकल के आया है. सो इस तरीके से बाइफोकेट करना जरूरी है. उस केस लॉ को आपको किस तरीके से याद करना है जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेंच नहीं है. वी कैन रिमेंबर इट जस्ट बाय अ पर्टिकुलर नेम को कुछ याद कर लीजिए, कोई स्पेसिफिक नेम वहां पे याद कर लीजिए जिससे वो याद हो जाएगा. सो इस तरीके से बाइफिकेशन इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द केस लॉज. वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड एनालाइज कि कौन सा केस हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट होगा.
राइट, दैट्स ट्रू. तो पहले हमें ये समझना है कि कौन से केस लॉज इम्पोर्टेंट है, एंड देन वी शुड स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग देम वन बाय वन. I'll also come to this judgment writing because CGPSC में judgment writing has a major role in the mains, right? But pre की बात करते हैं हम पहले. कितने questions थे pre में, और कितने like किस पोर्शन से ज्यादा आता है, ऐसा कुछ आप बता सकते हो हमारे व्यूअर्स को, that which subject is important or has a weightage, something like that, Shruti?
Ma'am, if I would tell, we have 100 questions every year which is being asked in the pre. But unfortunately, this is one of the hardest question to analyze कि किस portion से आते हैं, because in 2022 exam in which I have passed, major portion was from minor art. So that was the first time which has happened. The major portion minor acts, and probably if I would recall, not a single question was asked from the CPC. So far, I'm able to recall.
Okay.
So this might also happen. So in Chhattisgarh, just make sure that if it is a smallest act in itself, if it is a rent control in itself, you cannot take any chance not to read that particular act. Smaller ho, minor ho, major ho, कोई भी act हो, you need to be thorough with that particular bare act. You need to know, you need to understand कि क्या SN date था, किस date से वो enforced हो रहा है, what is the number of the act, and how many sections are there. We need to be very well versed with that. Even for the court fees act, I have heard many people saying that we do not need to read about the what is written in the schedule, the fixed court fee and the ad valorem court fee. We don't need to read about it. No, read that also. Give your 110% with your preparation. You will definitely sail through it.
Okay, so every subject is having an equal weightage in CGPSC prelims, Shruti. Like minor act आप बिल्कुल भी स्किप नहीं कर सकते हो, बिकॉज काफी सारे स्टूडेंट्स स्किप कर ही देते हैं, आई गेस, कि चलो ठीक है, इससे कितना ही आने वाला है, मेजर पोर्शंस पढ़ते हैं. बट एज श्रुति ऑलरेडी टोल्ड दैट इन 2022 माइनर एक्ट्स का कितना वेटेज था. सो प्लीज स्टूडेंट्स and aspirants try to focus on each and every subject. Fine. And how did you manage time in prelims, because काफी सारे students काफी सारे क्वेश्चंस को छोड़ कर आते हैं, एंड दे आर लाइक, मैम हमें तो टाइम ही नहीं मिला टू मार्क द आंसर्स. सो हाउ डिड यू मैनेज टाइम, या क्या इफेक्टिव था, आपने मॉक्स दिए या क्या करा टू हेल्प यू मैनेज योर टाइम एंड गेट इन पेस विद द स्पीड एंड टाइम के साथ हम कैसे मैनेज करें?
मैम, ड्यूरिंग माई प्रेपरेशन इन इटसेल्फ मैंने बुक्स बहुत सॉल्व किए हैं. जो MCQ बुक्स आते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल सिंगल के बुक्स मैंने बहुत सॉल्व किए हैं. So that book probably I have solved for thrice or for more than that. मैंने बहुत बार solve किए थे. Second thing, after the notification in itself, when we get the time, the schedule, when we get about the pre, मैंने ऑनलाइन मॉक्स लिए थे. लॉसिको से ही मैंने मॉक्स लिए थे, और मैंने कुछ कुछ और जगह भी मॉक्स लिए थे. तो वो बहुत हेल्पफुल होता है टू एनालाइज कि आप कितने टाइम पे आप अपना क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर पा रहे हैं. एक जो चैलेंज हो जाता है हमारे छत्तीसगढ़ जुडिशरी में, वो ये है कि हमको OMR शीट मिलता है. तो एक एक प्रेशर ये हो जाता है OMR में सॉल्व करने का कि कहीं एक क्लरिकल मिस्टेक मत हो जाए. तो ये तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड वहाँ पे होना चाहिए. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, व्हेन यू आर filling your roll number in OMR sheet, make sure that you are taking ample amount of time at that moment कि वहाँ पे आपने स्पेसिफिकली सही OMR भरा है, सही रोल नंबर भरे हैं. सेकेंडली व्हेन यू आर सॉल्विंग योर आंसर, मेरे साथ हमेशा से ये हुआ है कि जब भी मैंने सॉल्व किया आंसर, पहले के 15 to 20 क्वेश्चंस इट टुक मी अ वाइल टू गेट इन द पेस, क्योंकि उस टाइम पे थोड़ी घबराहट होती रहती है कि कुछ गलत ना हो जाए, बट आफ्टर दैट व्हेन वी गेट द पेस, उसके बाद वो सॉल्व होते जाते हैं. एंड इफ आई वुड टेल अबाउट द टाइमिंग, मुझे इन जनरल कभी इशू नहीं हुआ है छत्तीसगढ़ के प्रिलिमिनरी पेपर में, बिकॉज द क्वेश्चंस आर क्वाइट शॉर्ट इन इटसेल्फ, and there most of the questions are directly from the bare egg, so we just need to focus on the section in itself, and we do not get distracted a lot here and there. The only thing which we need to focus is कि हमें specifically एक bifurcation नहीं मिलता है questions की कि this questions are coming from this subject, so we need to have that presence of mind to understand कि okay this question is coming from this subject. So these two things if we are able to manage कि वहाँ पे हम जब भर रहे हो एमआर तो वहाँ पे presence of mind हो और किस subject का question हो, तो timing will not be the bigger challenge at that moment, I feel.
Okay, yes, yes. So for all the fresh aspirants, I guess, yes, roll number तो fill up करना आपको बहुत proper और carefully करना है, because अगर आपने roll number गलत कर दिया, I guess you also get, your paper gets disqualified and then you are not marked also अगर आप थोड़ा सा भी mistake करते हो. And even while filling the answers, you have to be very sure, वरना वो I guess वो question को आप मत ही expect करो any marks in that. अच्छा, you were stressing Shruti on the importance of Bare Act and Bare Act section. So, is there any specific strategy you followed? Because again, Bare Act memorizing and Bare Act reading is again one challenge for the fresh candidates. I will not say those who are have already prepared once and again they are preparing; they already know. But for the fresh ones, do you have any suggestion, Shruti, how to read Bare Act for preliminary exam?
Um, Ma'am, if I would say कि for those students who are just getting a very less span of time for their preparation, me being a student who has taken a long period of time, it has never been a challenge for me. Reason being, I have read the Barrett many a times. But for those students who have a very small period of time, what they can do is first of all get to know about the Barrett. First of all, understand what is the structure of the Barrett, what the Barrett in itself says. For example, if I am taking a Information Technology Act right now, this was not the subject in my exam. So first of all, what I will do is to understand that what is the main bifurcation, main chapters, and main structure of this whole Barrett. Then with the passage of time I will definitely get to understand that okay, where I have to focus. I know that I have to specifically focus first at the first instance on the definition or the interpretation clause. Just make sure that any direct you are taking, any subject you are taking, you need to be very well versed with the clauses which are there for the definition portion. Definition portion तो आएगा ही, उसमें से कौन से clause में क्या है ये भी आएगा. Second thing you need to focus is the penalty portion. Third thing you need to focus is the schedule portions which are given at the back of the barrack. सो ये एक पैटर्न अगर आप चला रहे हो तो फिर वो थोड़ा इजी हो जाता है. पहले आप बैरक के स्ट्रक्चर जान लीजिए, फिर उसके बाद जब आप पढ़ना स्टार्ट करेंगे यू विल गेट टू नो कि कौन सा पोर्शन वहाँ पे इम्पोर्टेंट है. एट द एंड वी कैन नॉट चेज द क्वेश्चंस व्हिच कुड बी आस्क्ड, क्योंकि कोई भी क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है, बट अगर ये स्ट्रैटेजी अगर हम फॉलो करेंगे इट विल बी मोर इजियर फॉर द स्टूडेंट हु हैव अ वेरी लेस स्पैन ऑफ टाइम टू प्रिपेयर.
Correct, correct. सो श्रुति, प्रीली एग्जाम में जैसे आपने बताया कि आपने काफ़ी सारे मॉक्स प्रैक्टिस करे और आपने एक बुक भी काफ़ी सॉल्व करा. आई गेस थ्राइस यू सॉल्व दैट बुक and mock. So these are really helpful to write to in your preli and also for managing the time. And yes, law seco also has mocks for preli and for mains, right? So आपने वो mocks लिए थे and that was helpful, right?
यस मैम.
ओके. नाउ 2 घंटे का पेपर है ना ये प्रिली का सीजीपीएससी में?
यस मैम.
2 hour paper. 2 hour paper. Okay, so yes, time management is very important in that case. Fine, coming to mains now. Now mains is just one paper if I'm not wrong.
यस मैम.
Please give us a detail about that, because I've seen the syllabus, and there is judgment writing, and there are questions also coming in the comment box that, ma'am, how to please elaborate on judgment writing, and what is the role of previous year question papers in mains exam. So Shruti, can you give us some insights on that?
For the judgment writing in Chhattisgarh, first of all, make sure students that we do not get any opportunity to go back and change the mistakes which we have made in judgment writing paper, because we have only one paper. We have 3 hours to sail through it. All the preparation which we are doing, this 3 hour is going to like decide your fate. So make sure कि presence of mind बहुत ज़्यादा important है when you are starting your judgment writing. During the preparation, what I have learned from my preparation is that after the exam, do not prepare your judgment writing just focusing on this thing कि हाँ हमको तो judgment writing ही करना है, right? When we are preparing for the judgment writing, we are getting questions which are dealing with the dying declaration, which are dealing with very much conceptual thing. Like the question which we have got in our exam, it had it had one of the significance with the dying declaration in itself, which some of the students were not able to catch in itself. So when you're preparing, just at the mains, for the mains, just make sure to make a list, make a proper notes at that moment about the important concepts which we are getting. For example, I had referred some of the books like Robinjit and Nam Joshi. Book I had referred for in Robinjit, the way they have given a conceptual clarity regarding a particular topic, make notes on that. So if I had got the question that this is the situation in which I could use the dying declaration, now in a judgment writing, I have to see that how is it relevant? How will I show the relevance of that dying declaration? Whether it is a substantive evidence, whether it is a corroborative evidence, how would I get to know about it? Then I'm very well versed about different type of DDs which is being made in any matter, कि मैं किस तरीके से उसको यूज करूंगी. उसका यूज ही आपको शो करना है किसमें, जजमेंट राइटिंग में. So for the judgment writing, when you are starting your preparation, in the beginning of the preparation, do not give much importance to the time limit. Give your preparation a particular time, मतलब एक specific time. अगर 3 घंटे लग रहे हैं आपको स्टार्टिंग में, आप लगाओ 3 घंटे स्टार्टिंग में, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल फोकस ऑन द फॉर्मेट विच इज बीइंग फॉलोड. जितना नया फॉर्मेट फॉलो करोगे, इट्स वेरी वेल गुड, क्योंकि आप फॉर्मेट जितने अच्छे से फॉलो करते हैं, आपका वहां पे दिखता है कि प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड की, हाँ बच्चे को पता है कि अभी चल क्या रहा है सिस्टम में, राइट? फॉर्मेट नया फॉलो करिए. सेकेंड थिंग, आपको फोकस करना है कि कितना ज्यादा अच्छे से आप अप्रिसिएशन कर लेंगे. आप कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम मार्शलिंग उतने अच्छे से नहीं कर पाते, बट हमने अप्रिसिएशन इतने अच्छे से किया है कि वहां पे हमको मार्क्स मिल जाते हैं. अप्रिसिएशन एक्चुअली शोज द योर नॉलेज, बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर writing the marshalling portion, you are just showing the relevancy with a specific section, which is also important. But how you are admitting that particular relevant evidence or relevant testimony with your given factual metrics, that is done in your appreciation. So the most important portion of whole judgment is the appreciation thing, which you need to focus. For the charge in itself, if I would say, charges में आपके important elements होने चाहिए. When I was writing the charges, I made sure that all the actus reus, all the mens rea of specific offense, I should specifically know. For example, if I'm writing any judgment, any charge on the cheating, I should specifically write that it is either dishonestly or fraudulently. We have read the question, we know that it is fraudulently, it is not dishonestly. But at the moment when we are writing the charge, we need to make sure that we don't know the conclusion. हमको सामने वाले को ये नहीं दिखाना है हमको conclusion पता है. Charge मतलब पहला stage. हमको वहां पे लिखना है dishonestly or fraudulently. अगर हम dishonestly नहीं लिख रहे हैं, सिर्फ fraudulently लिख रहे हैं, we will not be able to prove the fraudulently later on, because we have not included it in the charge. So make sure कि charge में आप actus reus and mens rea specifically वहां पे लिखें. Second thing, when you are writing the factual metrics when in the first paragraph when we write about the facts, just crisp and very short in the 4 line only, just clear it. क्योंकि वो कभी भी, जहाँ तक मुझे लगता है कि चेक करने के लिए वो सारी चीजें चेक नहीं की जाती, क्योंकि वो एक क्वेश्चन इन इटसेल्फ है। आपको 4 लाइन में लिखना है, 173 क्लॉज 2 सीआरपीसी तक आपको पहुंचा देना है कि चार्जशीट फाइल किया है, दैट्स इट। उतना आपने लिख लिया, इनफ, मोर देन इनफ। आपको स्पेसिफिकली फोकस कहाँ पे करना है? अप्रिसिएशन में। मार्शलिंग आप करते जाइए। मेक श्योर, ऑलवेज मेक श्योर कि पैराग्राफ्स शुड नॉट बी बिगर देन 5 लाइन्स। 5 इज द मैक्सिमम विच आई एम सेइंग, क्योंकि जितना बड़ा पैराग्राफ आप करेंगे, लैक ऑफ इंटरेस्ट उतना ज्यादा होगा एग्जामिनर का। जितना शॉर्ट एंड क्रिस्प रखेंगे पैराग्राफ, वेल एंड गुड। सो फोकस ऑन दैट। लास्ट थिंग इफ आई वुड से कि हमेशा जजमेंट राइटिंग में आई हैव हर्ड कि केस लॉज लिखने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। नो, दिस इज नॉट राइट। केस लॉज पे बकायदा आपको फोकस करना है। डू नॉट ट्राई टू ओवर पावर, मतलब ओवर क्राउडेड मत करो अपने जजमेंट को। If you are writing the case law, it has to be very relevant case law. No need to write the whole ratio. You just need to write what is the specific thing which has been specifically stated in that case law. When you are writing Sharad Birdichan Sharda case, do not need to write all the 5 Panchasheel which has been given. Just focus on what is the main thing which is being used at that moment in your judgment. That is the thing. Third thing, if I would say, always focus on the conclusion. Do not think कि हमको बोल दिया गया कि acquittal नहीं करना है, क्योंकि acquittal करने से पूरा जो लास्ट का जो ऑपरेटिंग पोर्शन है वो हट जाता है, तो हमको acquittal नहीं करना। नो, नेवर फोकस ऑन दिस। What if the examiner in itself want कि acquittal होना चाहिए इस केस में? Always have a conclusion as per your knowledge you have, as per the analytical power which you are applying at that moment, कि मैं इस सेक्शन को लगा रहा हूँ, मैं इस एविडेंस को लगा रहा हूँ, क्या ये प्रूव हो रहा है? Acquittal also does good. It's just that how you are appreciating your decision. Acquittal भी आप कर सकते हो, conviction भी कर सकते हो। Unnecessarily acquittal नहीं करिए, क्योंकि ये बात तो सही है कि ऑपरेटिंग पोर्शन चला जाता है, 5 नंबर आपका वहीं चला जाएगा। अननेसेसरली आप अक्विटल कर रहे हैं, आपका 5 नंबर वैसे ही पीछे चला जाता है। सो दैट इज द थिंग। सेकेंड थिंग, इफ आई वुड से रिगार्डिंग द ट्रांसलेशन पोर्शन, ट्रांसलेशन को कभी भी लाइट नहीं लेना है। आपने ट्रांसलेशन छोड़ा, आपने ट्रांसलेशन बहुत लाइट लिया, आपका कहीं ना कहीं 50% चांस कम हो जाता है सेलेक्ट होने का। ट्रांसलेशन इज द वन थिंग जो मुझे पर्सनली जब मैं प्रिपेयर करती थी, इट वॉज द ईजिएस्ट थिंग विच आई फेल्ट ड्यूरिंग माई प्रेपरेशन। आई वॉज वेरी स्केर्ड फॉर द जजमेंट राइटिंग, बट आई वॉज वेरी श्योर फॉर द ट्रांसलेशन। फॉर दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि जब भी आप पेपर लिखने जा रहे हो, पहला चीज आप जो करोगे वो आप करोगे ट्रांसलेशन। कोई भी ट्रांसलेशन हो, आप दोनों ट्रांसलेशन को पहले सॉल्व कर लीजिए। डू नॉट स्किप इट कि लास्ट में करेंगे, आपको टाइम नहीं मिलेगा, क्योंकि जजमेंट राइटिंग का कोई टाइम लिमिट नहीं होता है, वो चलते चलते लास्ट मोमेंट तक चलेगा ही। पहले ट्रांसलेशन कंप्लीट कर दीजिए, फिर जितना जितना भी आप टाइम ले रहे हैं, दैट विल बी मोर देन इनफ, अगर आपने पेपर पूरा वहां पे कंप्लीट कर लिया।
Shruti, it was a very insightful brief on the mains exam, particularly the judgment writing part which you explained. ये तो time management issue है during the mains exam, because there is only one paper in Chhattisgarh for mains, right? How is it? How did you manage it? Like आपने कैसे करा? आपने किस जगह से practice करी? और मॉक्स का क्या इम्पोर्टेंट रोल है, या फिर प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर्स कितने इम्पोर्टेंट है मेंस एग्जाम के लिए?
मैम, टाइम मैनेजमेंट तो सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट होता है, और टाइम मैनेजमेंट इज समथिंग वो इंडिविजुअल बेसिस पे होता है। सम पीपल आर वेरी फास्ट विद दी ट्रांसलेशन पोर्शन, सम आर वेरी स्लो। सो ये इंडिविजुअली आपको बनाना पड़ेगा कि 3 घंटे को आप कैसे बाइफरकेट कर रहे हो हर एक जजमेंट और हर एक ट्रांसलेशन के लिए। Second thing, if I would say, the relevance of the mocks and the relevance of previous year paper, most relevant thing, if I would say, is the previous year paper. This time also, the civil judgment which we have got, it had some of the like वो question कुछ related था previous year question which we have got in the Madhya Pradesh itself. तो क्या होता है कि civil most of the time civil judgments जो होते हैं, क्योंकि we are aspirants only, we do not have that much knowledge practically. So what they try to do is just conceptual clarity they want to see in the civil judgment. So that is why वो घुमा फिरा के वही चीजें आती हैं. तो इसलिए सिविल जजमेंट्स के लिए तो स्पेसिफिकली प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर आप फॉलो करिए. फॉर क्रिमिनल ऑल्सो, क्रिमिनल तो रिपीटेड नहीं होते हैं, बट क्लैरिटी आती जाती है क्योंकि वही चीज,
Hmm.
वही एविडेंसेस पूछे जाते हैं. तो प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर स्पेसिफिकली फोकस करिए, मॉक्स हमेशा देते रहिए. एंड अगर आप मॉक्स दे रहे हैं, मॉक्स हैज टू बी विद इन द टाइम बाउंड. अगर आप खुद से प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, आप उसमें टाइम बाउंड नहीं कर रहे, चल जाएगा, बट मॉक्स हैज टू बी स्पेसिफिकली टाइम बाउंड. बी लॉयल टू योर सेल्फ बिकॉज नो वन इज
Right.
गोइंग टू सी आप कितने टाइम में लिख रहे हैं. बी लॉयल टू योर सेल्फ.
Correct, correct. So, as you were speaking about the practical knowledge also, जो judgment writing में involved हो जाता है directly and indirectly, तो previous year question papers are very important to solve. Do you think practicing is important? Uh, like अगर हम judiciary exam दे रहे हैं, can we practice because preparation and practice काफी अनबैलेंस्ड हो जाता है, टाइम मैनेज नहीं कर पाते लोग. सो व्हाट डू यू सजेस्ट श्रुति, स्पेसिफिकली फॉर छत्तीसगढ़, डू यू थिंक प्रैक्टिसिंग इज इम्पोर्टेंट?
Ma'am, if I would talk about the importance, we cannot deny the importance of practicing in itself, because getting a practical knowledge is something else from what we are theoretically getting in knowledge. I have not practiced because I did not get the time in moment, because I got the opportunity of giving Madhya Pradesh. Then suddenly after that, I got the this exams opportunity. So I would not lessen the importance itself, and I would not give more importance to the practicing in itself. It is just on your caliber what you want to do, because I have seen some of my co-aspirants who were doing very good while practicing, and some of the co-aspirants who were not very comfortable with the practicing at that moment, because you need to focus on the studies. So if you're practicing, make sure that you're loyal to your practice also, because you will get so many questions in the interview regarding your practice in any field. If you're doing civil, just be loyal what you're doing with that. Do not do the practicing for the sake of saying कि अच्छा ठीक है, हमको पूछा जाएगा इंटरव्यू में कि इतने साल क्या कर रहे थे, तो हमको बोलने के लिए कुछ नहीं रहेगा कि सिर्फ पढ़ाई कर रहे थे, तो चलो कर लेते हैं. नेवर डू लाइक दैट. उसमें आप ऐसा हो जाता है कि यू आर जस्ट लाइक अपने ही आपको एक विशियस सर्कल में आप खुद ही घेर रहे हो, ये वाला सीन हो जाता है. Whatever you're doing, just be loyal to it. If you're going to for practices, that's very good. आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि you are giving ample amount of time to your studies as well. You are managing properly. If the question would come regarding your field, regarding your practice in the interview, you will be in a best position to answer that. That will be your, like, that should go in your positive side. That is the only thing if I would suggest to the student.
ओके, ओके श्रुति. अब हम आते हैं इंटरव्यू की तरफ. सो कितने टाइम के लिए आपका इंटरव्यू चला, कितने टाइम तक?
So mine was approximately for 15 to 16 minutes. Um, the interviews were depending, some got 30 minutes also. Mine was 15 to 16 minutes maximum.
Okay, and how many panelists were there, Shruti?
Three-member panelist it was. So one was the Honorable High Court Judge. Second one was the Honorable faculty from a specific specialized field. And third one was the Honorable PSC Chairman.
Okay. And how did it go? Like the moment you entered, how was the feeling? And then आपने अपने आप को comfortable कैसे करा, और क्या questions panelist की तरफ से आपको पूछे गए?
Ma'am, if I would tell, the moment we have been like हमें जब ले जाया गया दूसरे चेम्बर में, हमें एक चेम्बर से दूसरे चेम्बर ले जाया जाता है एक बंच में, according to the slot. So that whole
Okay.
moment before I entered the room, that was the hot seat, if I would say. That was like सबसे ज़्यादा प्रेशराइजिंग मोमेंट, उससे ज़्यादा प्रेशराइजिंग मोमेंट लाइफ का मैंने कभी नहीं झेला था. तो वो बहुत प्रेशराइजिंग होता है फॉर एवरी एस्पिरेंट. मेरे साथ जो भी
Mhm.
co-aspirants थे, they were also very pressurized. But then at the moment when we open the gate, when we see the panelists, we automatically get the comfort at that moment. Because what I have felt is कि panelist आपको बहुत ज़्यादा ही comfort कराने की कोशिश करता है. So when I entered, when I acknowledged them, when I asked for sitting and everything, I got comfortable at that moment. And the whole environment was also very holistic at that moment. And I had made my mind that I have given 100% to my preparation. Now, whatever happens, we will see about it. Just I'll give 100% here as well. So that was the thing which I was thinking at that moment.
Okay. And what sort of questions were asked, Shruti? What did the Honorable PSC Chairman ask you? What did the Honorable Judge he put on you? And the other Honorable panelist also, उनकी तरफ से क्या questions आया? Can you give us some list of questions which might, though there are different panelists every year, but still
Yes.
अगर हमें थोड़ा idea मिल पाए.
So approximately 14 to 15 questions I got. The first question, I remember the first question I got from the honorable PSC member. That was कि कितने प्रति में वाद दाखिल की जाती है. In the thing that in duplicate we file the plaint. That was the first question which I got. Second question was कि जब हमें वाद सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के विरुद्ध दाखिल करना है तो हम वहाँ पे जो नोटिस होता है सेक्शन 80 का वो किसको भेजेंगे. और जब मैंने उसका आंसर दिया उसके बाद पूछा गया कि यदि वो स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के विरुद्ध अगर वाद दाखिल किया जा रहा है तब किसे भेजा जाएगा. दीज टू क्वेश्चंस आई गॉट फ्रॉम द ऑनरेबल मेंबर. After that, the questions being asked by Honorable Justice from High Court, he asked me some of the factual questions, fact-based questions. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to give some of the answers. One question, if I would remember, is that you are a judge and one of the person is coming in front of you for the suit and he's saying कि वो आपके कोर्ट में ये बात दाखिल नहीं करना चाहता because he do not have trust on you. He don't have trust on you. So what will you do at that moment? So being the civil judge class 2, we have to transfer the case. So what we can do is, मैंने जो आंसर दिया था मैंने ये दिया था कि first of all I'll see that whether it is amounting to the bench hunting, whether he is deliberately doing it or not. At the moment, if I see that he is not deliberately doing bench hunting, I would see that whether he has the genuine reason for not having trust on me, on my court. एट दैट मोमेंट आई वुड सी कि अगर यहाँ पे जस्टिस डिलीवर नहीं होगा, अगर मेरे द्वारा अगर इस केस को देखा जाता है तो मैं अपने सीनियर्स को कंसल्ट करूंगी. मैंने उस टाइम पे यही बोल दिया था बिकॉज फैक्चुअल बेस्ड क्वेश्चन का कभी भी एक सटीक आंसर नहीं होता क्योंकि हमने प्रैक्टिकली वहां पे वर्क नहीं किया. व्हाट वी नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि हमको कंसेप्चुअल क्लैरिटी है कि हमको पता है कि ट्रांसफर कौन करता है. तो उसमें क्रॉस क्वेश्चन हुआ कि सिविल केसेस में ट्रांसफर कौन करता है. तो 26 25 ये याद था कि हाई कोर्ट, डिस्ट्रिक्ट जज एंड सुप्रीम कोर्ट, ये सारी चीजें वहां पे बताई गई. तो ये क्वेश्चन था सेकंड. थर्ड क्वेश्चन वाज some of the questions were from general knowledge also. Unfortunately, if I would say, I did not get much question from the general knowledge. So one question which I got was what is the difference in the functioning and the functioning of governor generals which were there earlier and the governors of the state. This was the question. Second question which I got another was who was the first governor general of India. तो ये दो क्वेश्चन जो जीके से रिलेटेड थे. I got the gold medal in criminology, so I have got some of the questions relating to the criminal law as well. One of the question was what is the difference between the preventive detention and house arrest, and which law deals with the preventive detention in itself. And yeah, one factual question which I got was what are the elements of the crime. So this is the basic question which I answered. But one counter question which I got is that what if any of the element is missing in the crime, whether it will amount to a crime offense if any of the element is missing. I said yes sir. If there is no intention, some of the offenses will be still concluded, for example bigamy and all. So in that, the honorable member asked me to give a illustration, to give a particular example about it. So that was the one question. So these are the some of the questions which I got. So more or less it was just a mixture of the legal question in itself, and some of the conceptual and some of the general knowledge questions, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shruti. I think this is going to help all the future aspirants also as to how to prepare for interview. But हमें हमेशा इंटरव्यू सुनकर ही एक डर सा रहता है इंटरव्यू आप और जब आप फेस करते हो वो एक डिफरेंट फीलिंग होती है आप
Yeah.
जितने भी मॉक्स दे लो एंड जितने भी तो आपने मॉक्स दिए क्या फॉर इंटरव्यू एंड वाज इट
Yes.
हेल्पफुल
मैंने लॉ सीखो में approximately I had given 15 mocks approximately. I was continuous with my mocks. Unfortunately, ma'am, I couldn't clear Madhya Pradesh past year just with few because of few mark in interview in itself. I had a very good mark in the Madhya Pradesh in itself, but for 4 or 5 marks I couldn't clear the interview. So that was somehow there was a phobia for me. So I focused on my interview 110% this time, and I would suggest everyone to give mock as much as you could. And second thing, the barrier of that hesitation which we have with the panelist, just avoid it, because obviously बात है, हम ये जानते हैं कि पैनलिस्ट को भी पता है कि ये स्टूडेंट ही है, हमारे सामने बच्चे हैं, ये कितने ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस्ड लोग पैनल में बैठते हैं, तो उनको भी एक्सपेक्टेशन बच्चों से उतना ही होता है जितना एक कोई भी प्रूडेंट पर्सन करे. सो मेक श्योर कि अगर आप कोई गलती भी कर रहे हैं, हम्बली आप वहां पे एक्सेप्ट करिए. आपको आंसर नहीं आ रहा है, जस्ट बी हम्बल एंड हैव दी स्माइलिंग फेस ऑल द टाइम. I had not given many of the question. I just said, I apologize, sir. I'll read about it more. I'm not able to recall it currently. That's it. Just smile it. I have got the counter statement that you are a gold medalist. How could you do not know? At that moment, they do not want to discourage me. They just want to see that how I am actually going to entertain this pressure. If somebody is saying you that आपने ऐसा कैसे कर लिया, आपको कैसे नहीं पता, वहाँ पे automatically human tendency की pressure में आ जाता है इंसान. I just smiled. I said, sir, so far I'm able to recall. This is the answer, but I will definitely read about it. That's it. No need to hesitate about your lacunas. Just accept your lacunas at that moment.
That was really nice. That was really nice. So even if they're asking you something, that's of course, as Shruti said, it's not to discourage. It's just to see how you are entertaining that pressure. So take everything very positively. एंड श्रुति ये बेयर एक्ट ये लोकल लॉज जो हैं सीजीपीएससी में जो आते हैं हाउ डू यू सजेस्ट टू रीड देम शुड इट बी ओनली बेयर एक्ट स्पेसिफिक या बहुत इन डेप्थ नॉलेज चाहिए विद केस लॉज एंड एवरीथिंग फॉर प्रिपेयरिंग द लोकल
For
लॉज
for local laws, ma'am, I would suggest just direct reading the rule. Only on the barrack. Specifically, if I would suggest कि कोर्ट फीस को भी बैरक से ही पढ़िए, बट थोड़ा क्लैरिटी के साथ पढ़िए, बिकॉज वो थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग है, एंड द क्वेश्चंस विच आर गेटिंग वी आर गेटिंग फ्रॉम पास्ट 2 years, वो थोड़ा कंसेप्चुअल बेस पूछ रहे हैं, बैरक के से ही रिलेटेड, बट थोड़ा कंसेप्ट लगा के पूछ रहे हैं. तो फॉर लोकल लॉज जस्ट फोकस ऑन द बैरक ओनली, एंड फॉर लोकल लॉज जस्ट मेक श्योर कि आप शेड्यूल तक पढ़िए वहाँ पे.
Okay, okay, yes, yes. And what about GK and current affairs? They have already asked you questions on GK as you told. You just now
Yes.
you told us. So GK and current affairs कैसे prepare करना है? कहाँ से prepare करना है? कितना legal GK ही पढ़ना है या static GK भी पढ़ना है?
Yes. This is one of the important question which need to be acknowledged, because my interview was on third day. So from first, second, third, there was a different pattern which is being followed in the interview. Second day, I have asked many of the aspirants. Most of the questions, 90% questions, were from GK in itself. We cannot predict what type of a question is going to be asked. हमें कभी भी प्री और मेंस में कभी भी नहीं बताया जाता कि वी नीड टू लर्न, वी नीड टू फोकस ऑन द जनरल नॉलेज, बट फॉर इंटरव्यू मेक श्योर यू नीड टू रीड जनरल knowledge in specifically. You need to be very well versed with the current scenarios which are going. For example, if I forgot this question, One question I got is, our constitution is said to be rigid and flexible. How would you justify the statement that our constitution is flexible? At that moment, one thing which came in my mind is about the amendment power. That ki amendment power है, इसलिए हमें flexible कहा जाता है. This is the procedure. Counter question which I got is कि what is the recent um, action which has been taken by the legislature to show that okay, constitution is flexible. So I remembered about the 106 amendment regarding the reservation which is to be given to the women in the legislative assembly as well as the Lok Sabha. So this thing I related at that moment. So what they wanted to know कि अच्छा तुमको करंट में सिनेरियो पता है कि नहीं, और उसको तुम किस तरीके से अपने लीगल नॉलेज से कंबाइन कर पा रहे हो. तो करंट अफेयर्स से वेल वर्स्ड होना बहुत जरूरी है. एज सुन एज यू गेट to know कि आपका अब मेंस क्लियर हो रहा है, आफ्टर गिविंग योर मेंस एग्जाम इन इटसेल्फ स्टार्ट प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द करंट अफेयर्स first of all. Second, if you are a Chhattisgarh domiciled in itself, just make sure you are very very well versed with the Chhattisgarh static GK in itself. अगर आप किसी पूरा ओवरऑल छत्तीसगढ़ तो आपको पता होना चाहिए. यू नीड टू बी वेरी वेल वर्स्ड विद व्हाट टाइप ऑफ सॉइल, व्हाट टाइप ऑफ जियोग्राफिकल डेमोग्राफिकल स्ट्रक्चर वी हैव in our Chhattisgarh. What are the generally political questions are not asked, but basically you need to have a very well versed knowledge about it. अभी elections हुए हैं, उस पे भी questions पूछे गए हैं. सेकेंड थिंग, अगर एक स्पेसिफिक डिस्ट्रिक्ट है, अपने डिस्ट्रिक्ट से आपको पूरे तरीके से वेलवर्स्ड होना है. जैसे मैंने अपने डिस्ट्रिक्ट का पूरा ए टू जेड, कब बना था, कहाँ बना था, कौन से रिवर है, कौन से ब्रिज है, व्हाट आर द प्रोमिनेंट प्लेसेस टू बी विजिटेड हियर, एवरीथिंग नीड टू बी वेरी वेल वर्स्ड. तो करंट अफेयर को 100% दीजिए फॉर योर इंटरव्यू. स्टैटिक को भी 100% दीजिए. हाँ, इंडिया का जो स्टैटिक है, यू कैन गिव 50 to 50% thing. You can say sorry sir, I'm not able to recall it currently. उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बट जिस स्टेट में आपको वर्क करना है, यू नीड टू बी वेरी वेल वर्स्ड अबाउट एवरीथिंग अबाउट दैट स्टेट. सो वो कंप्लीटली पढ़िए. सेकेंड थिंग, नो नीड टू रीड द करंट अफेयर द वे यूपीएससी एस्पिरेंट्स रीड. नो नीड टू रीड अबाउट. हमेशा पेपर पढ़िए. पेपर पढ़ना तो इट्स वेरी गुड रूटीन विच एवरीवन नीड टू फॉलो. बट उसमें भी आप चूज करिए कि आपको कितना पढ़ना है. लीगल नॉलेज के लिए स्पेसिफिकली मैंने लाइव लॉ रिफर किया था. सो फॉर दैट you can only refer the live law in itself, for where you will get the case laws, where you will get the legal updates in itself. तो ये सारी चीजों से वेल वर्स्ड रहिए. आप कहाँ से बिलोंग कर रहे हैं, आप अपने पर्सनालिटी से भी वेल वर्स्ड रहिए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, माई नेम इज श्रुति. In Madhya Pradesh interview, I have been asked what is the meaning of Shruti, because Shruti has the relevance with the Vedas. Shruti has the relevance with the old school of Hindu law. So be well versed with your origin in itself. Everything will go smoothly.
All right, Shruti. So, yes, I guess all the questions which must be there in the minds of aspirant have been covered by you in detail. Still, I'll be taking up all these questions which are there in the comment section also. Right now, usse pehle, I just want to ask you, Shruti, um, that which states can the students opt for apart from Chhattisgarh, which has a similar, like, which they can give along with Chhattisgarh? What do you suggest? अगर उन्हें कोई और ऑप्शन भी रखना है तो वो कौन से ऑप्शंस को रख सकते हैं छत्तीसगढ़ के साथ?
Ma'am, for Chhattisgarh, the best option is the Prelims. The only difference we get in the main itself, but हालांकि अभी कुछ कुछ नए ऐड हुए हैं, but we can read the Madhya Pradesh, because there is
Okay,
so
Shruti,
much
I
cultural
guess the
difference in
voice is
Madhya
getting
Pradesh
a
and
little cracked.
Chhattisgarh.
Voice is getting little cracked. So can you just repeat once? Yes, Shruti. So, yes, I was asking you about the states, other states which we can prepare along with Chhattisgarh.
Ma'am, I had focused for the Madhya Pradesh along with Chhattisgarh. More specifically, I had in my mind that I will give Rajasthan also, but the most specifically, if I would say कि मध्य प्रदेश पे focus किया जा सकता है because of the lack of cultural differences and the lack of difference in the pattern also, we can sail through it. There is a possibility of it.
Okay, MP is a good option. Okay. ओके एंड श्रुति आप हमें अब ये बताओगे दैट आपका डेली शेड्यूल क्या था हाउ डिड यू स्टार्ट योर प्रेपरेशन व्हेन यू स्टार्टेड योर प्रेपरेशन किस तरीके से आप टाइम मैनेज करते थे कितने घंटे पढ़ते थे और किस तरीके से आपने अपने रूटीन को और अपने सोशल लाइफ को बैलेंस करा था एंड हाउ मच टाइम डिड यू टेक टू कंप्लीट दिस होल सिलेबस ऑफ छत्तीसगढ़ आपको कितना वक्त लग गया
So I started my preparation when I was in third year. So, along with my academics, I was doing the preparation. For that moment, I had to make sure to give 4 to 5 hours specifically with the academics I was giving. So, for me, ma'am, I have never made any particular mindset that okay, for this hour only I'll have to study. The only thing which I had made in my mind that to not break the consistency in itself. So when I was in third year, from third year till 2021, sorry, till 2022, I would say, I had continuously prepared for it without getting distracted in between. So if students are making timetable very well, very good, do not make your timetable very strict. Make sure that you are giving ample amount of time to other life as well, your social life, the all whatever you do, hang out with your friends and as well. जस्ट मेक श्योर कि आप कभी भी कॉम्प्रोमाइज किसी भी साइड पे नहीं कर रहे हैं आप स्टडीज कर रहे हैं आप स्टडीज करिए आप फ्रेंड्स के साथ जा रहे हैं फ्रेंड्स के साथ घूमिए कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है दिस इज वन ऑफ दी अगर मैं बोलूँ अगर मुझे कुछ स्टूडेंट अभी बोलेंगे कि चलो ठीक है स्टेज में पहुंच के तो बोला जा सकता है बट दिस इज दी वन थिंग आई वुड से कि कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता है अगर आप घूमने भी जा रहे हो अगर आप पढ़ाई भी कर रहे हो बस मेक श्योर करिए कि आप रिवाइव जब करते हो अपना पढ़ाई आप प्रॉपर तरीके से करिए तो अगर मुझे आज पढ़ने का मन नहीं भी होता था आई मेक श्योर कि मैं 2 घंटे तो रिवाइज करूँ जो चीजें मैंने पढ़ी है although if somebody would ask me I was a person who was completely focusing on the academics throughout my college life so I used to because हमारे कॉलेज में 3-3 बजे तक लाइब्रेरी खुली रहती थी तो आई यूज टू स्टडी देयर ओनली सो आई यूज टू एंजॉय माई स्टडी एट दैट मोमेंट so you if you are enjoying your study now 4 to 5 hour consistently if you have 1 year it is enough 4 to 5 hour consistently it is 1 year I'm talking about if you have less time just give 8 to 10 hours every day because क्योंकि हमको मग अप करना भी पड़ता है सेक्शन नंबर एंड एवरीथिंग so give that much time to mugging up the section number in itself and this is one of the myth if somebody says that there is no need to mug up things no यू नीड टू नो कि कहाँ पे मगअप करना है कहाँ पे समझना है सेक्शन समझिए सेक्शन नंबर आपको मगअप ही करना पड़ेगा एवरी डे आई मेक श्योर इन द बिगिनिंग ऑफ माई प्रेपरेशन कि सुबह उठते या शाम को सोते समय मैं एटलीस्ट जितना पढ़ी हूँ उतने सेक्शन को एक बार और गो थ्रू करूँ सेकेंड थिंग विच हेल्प मी अलॉट इसकी मैं हमेशा से लिख लिख के याद करती थी तो सिंस माई आई वॉज इन स्कूल ऑल्सो आई मेड दिस थिंग इन माई माइंड कि हमेशा लिख के पढ़ो जितना आप लिखोगे 3 तरीके से पढ़ाई होती है एक बोल के पढ़ना एक लिख के पढ़ना एक देख के पढ़ना ये होता है व्हेन यू आर डूइंग ऑल दिस 3 थिंग कंटिन्यूअसली ना आपको थ्राइज लेवल पे वो चीजें याद होती है तो मैं बोलती थी लिखती थी और पढ़ती थी तो ये 3 चीजों में मुझे जल्दी मेमोराइज हो जाता था उस टाइम पे उस मोमेंट पे तो इस तरीके से करिए टाइम टेबल आप अपने अकॉर्डिंग बना सकते हैं देर इज नो फाउंडेशन दैट somebody is studying this much somebody is studying this much that is nothing which is going to help and that is nothing which is going to be hindrance for your preparation make timetable according to your preference only.
Okay, okay. So now we will be taking up the questions which our viewers have for you. पहला question है, is it necessary to be a NLU student to clear judiciary? I don't
Absolutely.
think that. Yes.
Absolutely. See,
So, hmm,
um,
yes, sure.
what I have learned being an NLU student, individual individual personality helps you to become judge. दिस इज वेरी गुड थिंग विच वी नो कि हम अच्छे एनएलयू से पढ़ रहे हैं तो एक इन्वायरमेंट मिलता है विच इज अ वेरी गुड थिंग, क्योंकि हर एक चीज का एक अलग इंपॉर्टेंस होता है। एक आप अगर आप ऐसे कॉलेज से पढ़ रहे हो जहाँ पे होलिस्टिकली आपको सारे जगह से लोग मिल रहे हैं तो आप लोगों से बहुत चीजें सीखते हैं, तो वो एक पर्सनालिटी डेवलप होती है। इफ आई वुड से when I entered the national university, I do remember my some of the seniors tell me currently as well that Shruti used to say ki ma'am, I'm very scared to study here. I was a very submissive student. I was not even able to speak a single line in English at that moment, but with with the passage of time I worked on myself, which you can do in any college wherever you are. Doesn't matter, it is not important to be an NLU aspirant. Just make sure that you are very very loyal towards your goal. आपने सोच लिया आपको जुडिशियल सर्विसेज करना है, कहीं पे डिमांड तो है नहीं आपको नेशनल लॉ यूनिवर्सिटी से होना चाहिए कि कहाँ से होना चाहिए। आपका डिमांड क्या है? आपका प्री क्लियर होना चाहिए, आपका मेंस क्लियर होना चाहिए, आपका इंटरव्यू क्लियर होना चाहिए। यू आर लॉयल टू ऑल दिस थ्री थिंग, यू कैन बी अ वेरी यू कैन सेल थ्रू इट। आराम से आप बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स से क्लियर करेंगे।
Correct, correct. Even I believe this that किसी भी नोटिफिकेशन में ये एलिजिबिलिटी क्राइटेरिया नहीं है दैट यू हैव टू बी फ्रॉम एनएलयू ओनली। आप बस एक लॉ ग्रेजुएट रहो और आपकी नॉलेज प्रॉपर होनी चाहिए फॉर द एग्जाम, and be a very dedicated and hard working student. It does not matter whether you are from an NLU or not. There are so many NLU students who are clearing, and there are so many non-NLU students also who are clearing. Depends on the student. Yes, the educational background matter करती है, but this is not required, not necessary. Next
One thing I
question,
would
mains. Yes, yes, Shruti.
uh, one thing I would like to add, ma'am, whenever this thing comes in our mind when we see an NLU student, just make sure that we are seeing the NLU student. Are we seeing the dignitaries who are already there on the higher pedestal? They are not mandatorily to be belonging from a particular NLU in itself. They are also
Correct.
coming from a normal college. You can also go till that stage. They were loyal to their preparation, they were loyal to their work, dedication. You just be loyal, you just be ethically strong, you will also go to that stage.
True, true. Just be loyal to your preparation, be loyal to yourself. Rightly said, Shruti. Then Sumita has a question about mains preparation tip. I guess we have already shared that in detail, Sumita. If you have any other question relating to it, you can ask us right now. Manish has a question. Ma'am, is it necessary to start with reverse preparation strategy? That is to start with mains first and then pre.
That's unfortunately not possible in the judicial services, if I would say, because until unless you are well versed with your law, you cannot go for the judgment writing. Uh, if for the one time, if you have read all, if you have completed your all syllabus for the pre, then at that moment, before the date comes up for the pre in itself, you can start preparing for the mains also, for the judgment writing also. But it's not possible for any student to just jump on the judgment writing and then come back to the pre. If the question is coming regarding the answer writing, that you can a little bit you can do, because answer writing we usually do in the college in itself. You can start like that matter, but for the judgment writing it's not possible to have the reverse preparation.
Right. And I think whenever we start with judiciary preparation, we start both the preparation together only. Like mains and pre, हम साथ में ही करते हैं, because we never know. Like I'm also talking about other states, because we never
Yes,
know आपको
yes,
कितना time मिल रहा है ना?
yes. That is the one thing, that before the pre in itself, if you are preparing your mains, that is very well good which you are doing, because after clearing pre we don't get the time. But the
True.
starting of your preparation has to be focusing on the pre. then the judgment writing. So try to
हाँ,
make your this manner कि पहले आप प्री जितना जल्दी हो सके वो प्रिपरेशन आप खत्म कर ले, फिर मेंस में करिए, क्योंकि आप मेंस करेंगे तो वैसे भी
right.
कंसेप्ट क्लैरिटी तो आती ही जाएंगी.
True. That's true. Okay, now there is a question that Sumit has. Uh, can you prepare judiciary as well as civil service examination both? I guess Sumit is asking about judiciary and UPSC preparation together. What do you feel, Shruti?
Ma'am,
Hmm.
that is, I'm not very well versed with the preparation of UPSC in itself. I have seen one of my senior. He had prepared for the UPSC in itself, and he had cracked the exam also. So both the exam has a different demand. If I would say कि if we are preparing for the judiciary in itself कि हमको एक ही चीज पे focus करना है. For the UPSC you are thinking about the executive bill, administration. The the approach with which you study, the main your attitude of studying that particular thing also changes with the demand of the exam, right? Judiciary में जाना है, you don't need to focus on the current affair with that detail. But when you are thinking about the UPSC, you have to think in another level. So if you are able to do, if students are able to do, that is very very commendable thing, I would say. But this is quite a difficult thing because we cannot just mix two things. These are two different wings of our government. So that is not that is difficult.
True, true. We always need to focus on one thing and just just channelize your priority कि आपको क्या आपका मन कहाँ है ज़्यादा. ऑफ कोर्स अगर एक चीज़ वर्क नहीं करती, हमारा प्लान ए वर्क नहीं करता है, देन वी कम आउट एंड थिंक अबाउट प्लान बी. बट अगर आपको जज बनना है तो आप पहले, आई विल सजेस्ट कि आप पहले जुडिशरी प्रिपेयर कर लो प्रॉपरली, right? And you keep giving in your revision stage. You can also simultaneously sit for civil service, but then would depend karta, I guess, from student to student also, how hardworking he is and how much he can retain and balance both the different preparation, because as Shruti also pointed out, both exams have different demands, so fulfilling those demands is might be difficult for many, might not be difficult for many, so depends on the student also. Okay, now what would you suggest for answer writing? That's been already answered, I guess. Anshul has a question: does handwriting matter in the mains?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the best question I would say. हैंड राइटिंग पे हमेशा फोकस करना, बिकॉज मैंने कभी पेपर अपना नहीं देखा है, बट मुझे लगता है कि हैंड राइटिंग में बहुत ज्यादा ही एक एज बन जाता है. 4 to 5 marks probably you will get an age, because see, as an evaluator, if you are sitting to check 100 copies, the copy which you are getting in a proper structured manner, in which you are getting a beautiful handwriting, not has it has not to be a caliber type का handwriting, calligraphy नहीं चाहिए वहाँ पे, बट क्लैरिटी अगर आपके चीजों में दिख रही है, आपने क्लियरली लिखा है. अगर जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इफ आई वुड से, इफ यू आर राइटिंग आंसर राइटिंग में, if you are writing your answer by making a sub paragraph, you are making sub headings, if you are making a particular charts, you are underlining your answers, specifically the name of the case is visible, obviously you will get the age. If your handwriting is clear, if they're not able to understand what your one sentence you have written is not clear, obviously they will get frustrated. They are also human, they want everything to be feasible. We need to understand that wherever we are doing mains writing, we have to spoon feed the honorable examiner. They should not get that difficulty while they are checking their paper. जितना हो सके उतना स्मूथ प्यारा सा अपना पेपर बनाइए. आंसर राइटिंग के लिए भी आप कर रहे हैं, आप इस तरीके से लिखिए कि एक केस भी डाल रहा है, दैट इज इनफ, दैट इज द लैंडमार्क केस. इफ यू आर राइटिंग, दैट इज मोर देन इनफ. नो नीड टू हर चीज डालो, हर चीज डालो, बुक से भी पढ़ा ये भी डालो, नहीं. फोकस ऑन द सेक्शन, सेक्शन नंबर, एक्ट होना चाहिए, एक्ट का ईयर होना चाहिए, उस पर केस लॉज होना चाहिए, कंक्लूजन सही होना चाहिए, दैट्स. they do not want anything else. They want illustration, एक illustration दे दिया काफी है. bare minimum what they want, just focus on that. and handwriting पे हमेशा focus करिए. अगर आपका handwriting बहुत ज्यादा खराब है, तो आप उसको क्लैरिटी के साथ लिखिए, ट्राई करिए कि आप पॉइंट्स में लिखिए, ट्राई करिए कि आप छोटे छोटे पैराग्राफ्स लिखिए। पूरा ऐसे के टाइप का तो आंसर कभी मत लिखिएगा, ऐसे के टाइप का ना ही जजमेंट राइटिंग लिखिएगा। जितना हो सके उतना क्लियर करिए।
Right. And there's another question from Sumit. Please elaborate on judgment writing. I guess, Shruti, you did elaborately told us about the judgment writing technique. And is there role of previous year questions in our exam?
Ma'am, for the mains in itself,
For mains and pre both.
yes, PYQs are the best thing which could guide you। पीवाईक्यूज हमेशा फोकस करिए। मैंने जब मध्य प्रदेश में भी जब मैंने पढ़ा था, मैंने मेक श्योर किया था कि पीवाईक्यूज 2 बार सॉल्व करके जाऊं। तो उससे पहली बात तो कॉन्फिडेंस आता है। सेकेंड थिंग, एक क्लैरिटी भी आती है कि हाँ, इससे इस टाइप के ही क्वेश्चन पूछे जाएंगे। तो कॉन्फिडेंस जब आता है, जब आप लिखते हैं तो कॉन्फिडेंटली आप लिखते हैं। अच्छा, आई वुड लाइक टू गिव वन सजेशन टू स्टूडेंट्स विच आई फॉरगॉट, कि छत्तीसगढ़ में मेंस के जो पेपर होते हैं उसमें हमको आंसर शीट सप्लीमेंट्री दोबारा नहीं मिलते हैं। तो दिस वाज व्हेन आई वेंट फॉर माय एग्जाम, आई हैड नो आइडिया कि किस टाइप का पेपर मिलेगा, मतलब उसकी क्वालिटी किस प्रकार की होगी। और मुझे सिर्फ ये पता था कि सप्लीमेंट्री नहीं मिलने वाला। तो दिस वाज वन ऑफ द शॉकर फॉर मी, बिकॉज द गैप बिटवीन द लाइंस वाज अ लिटिल बिट ह्यूज, बिकॉज माय हैंडराइटिंग इज a little bit huge in comparison to others, if I would say। तो make sure कि when you are writing the judgment, or when you are solving your mains writing for the Chhattisgarh, you are simultaneously counting the papers which are left in your answer sheet। I have seen some of my friends who have made this mistake. They were lacking short of the answer sheet, and because of that, they couldn't clear it, probably, if I would say। सो मेक श्योर कि वहां पे वो आंसर शीट वाला इशू ना हो। तो साइमल्टेनियसली उसको गिनते जाइए। तो बेसिकली इट्स नॉट ओनली कि आपको क्वेश्चन पेपर 3 घंटे में सॉल्व करके आना है, आपको ये श्योर रखना है कि आपका प्रेजेंस ऑफ माइंड है, आप वहाँ पे पेपर सॉल्व कर रहे हैं, आप वहाँ पे इतने में इतना ही सॉल्व कर सकते हैं, दैट्स इट। जहाँ पे सप्लीमेंट्री नहीं मिलता वहाँ पे आप कुछ नहीं कर सकते। सो ये सारी चीजों पे फोकस करिए।
Okay, that was a good suggestion for the ones who are preparing for CGPSC about the answer sheets also. And we have one question. Okay, is studying law seco notes enough to crack the exam or any coaching notes? Shruti, what would you say about notes? Which a coaching, many students they go for coaching. So are those notes sufficient, or do you think we should also go between the lines of the books? As Shruti has already in the session suggested some book names also, right, Shruti?
Uh, yes, ma'am. For the notes, if I would say, as I said, ki for Chhattisgarh students need to make the notes in the bearing itself. That completely depends on you. If you're not comfortable, you can go with the traditional method as well। The notes which we are getting from the coaching, the notes which I have got as a sample answer from the Losico, that was also very good, and I have focused on that only। When I was preparing for the Madhya Pradesh answer writing, at that moment, I had prepared for that answer writing thing in 1.5 month passage। So the pattern and everything I have learned from the answer samples which they have given to me। So it's not necessary to specifically focus on the one thing also only। आप अपने से भी पढ़ सकते हैं। It completely depends on the student's caliber। Some students are enough if they are studying this much only। अगर आपको मिल रहा है कहीं से notes, it is very good, because the notes which we are getting are very commendable। The case laws and everything which we are getting from the which I got from the this institute was very commendable for me in itself। So you can focus on that also। But if you have that much time to give your more hard work and everything, so you can also focus on the book in itself। और जितना ज्यादा आप पढ़ेंगे आपकी क्लैरिटी उतनी आएगी। मैंने तो आई डू रिमेम्बर माई क्रिमिनल बैरेट, आई इफ आई ओपन इट करेंटली वो तो फट ही जाएगा अभी। ऐसे सिचुएशन हो चुके थे। तो बार बार आप पढ़िए, आपका क्लैरिटी तो वैसे भी हो जाएगा।
यस आई गेस आप जो भी बुक पढ़ रहे हो, जो भी नोट्स पढ़ रहे हो, उसको रिवाइज करना काफी इम्पोर्टेंट है। एज श्रुति सेड, उसके बुक की हालत अब ऐसी हो चुकी है बिकॉज शी हैज रेड इट, शी हैज गॉन थ्रू इट सो मेनी टाइम, दैट इज व्हाट इट शोज। ओके, okay, Sumita has another question for mains. Oh, ma'am, from where have you practiced MCQs, Shruti? From where did you practice MCQ for prelims? Shruti gave lot of mocks, she said, and she suggested one book also. Yes, Shruti. So, from where did you practice MCQ, Shruti? Is the question of Sumita, which you have already answered. But if you can just repeat it once again for Sumita. So, श्रुति, हम MCQs कहाँ से प्रैक्टिस करें फॉर प्रिली? Am I audible, Shruti? Yes, Shruti. So, from where can we practice MCQs?
For multiple choice question, I had the singles book I preferred. We had two types of books for that. एक जो है जो specifically paper based होता है complete, दूसरा होता है जो subject wise topic based होता है. तो मैंने दोनों solve किए थे. I solved it for more than twice or thrice. So that is helpful. Second thing, for after the date we get for the pre, I had taken the mock interview in itself from law psycho. Also I have taken a mock interview, sorry, mock test, so that was helpful. बट प्रिपरेशन के दौरान आप सिंगल्स के अगर सॉल्व करते जा रहे हैं तो वो बेनिफिशियल होता है.
Yes, thank you, Shruti, for that also. I hope Sumita's question is also answered. And for mains answer writing, practicing in courtroom is required. That
No
also we
ma'am,
discussed.
it's not
Mm-hmm.
mandatory.
Not bad. Okay. Uh, okay. One student has asked how to remember Bear Act. I guess we also dealt with that question in the session. Krati has one question. How many pages in the answer sheet of CG?
um, Ma'am, unfortunately, I'm not able to recall it currently, but they give ample amount of paper in which you could write it completely. It's just that do not elongate your answers unnecessarily, your judgment writings. Otherwise, you won't be able to completely लाइक राइट इट कम्प्लीटली, बट अगर आप एक शॉर्ट क्रिस्प टू द पॉइंट अगर जजमेंट लिख रहे हैं, short crisp in the sense whatever is required only, or not unnecessary thing, you will be able to write it on in that given paper. I do remember मेरा लास्ट पेज का लास्ट पेपर छूट गया, बचा हुआ था, एंड इन बिटवीन आई हैड सम इशू विद द फॉर्मेट, तो मैंने फॉर्मेट काट के भी लिखा था, उसके बावजूद मेरा लास्ट पेज छूटा हुआ था, एंड कुछ स्टूडेंट्स का तो पूरा नहीं छूट पाया था, तो इट कम्प्लीटली डिपेंड्स ऑन द योर हैंड राइटिंग and the matter which you are content which you are adding in your judgment. So make sure कि आप relevant चीजों पे ही focus करिए.
Right, right. So there is sufficient sheets in the paper to write your answer. Depends on your handwriting also, as Shruti mentioned. And then Aditi has one question: how to start our preparation? Do we need to focus on main subjects first, or minor subject like GK, news, judgment writing?
Okay, so when I started, I focused on the criminal, CRPC. So procedural I started because the substantive portion is something which we can sail through at any moment. Substantive is not that much tough, because if I would ask any aspirant the comparison between CRPC and IPC, everyone would say that IPC is easier than CRPC. So I made sure, because in the beginning of the preparation you have the fresh mind, you have that जुनून कि हमको complete करना है, तो मैंने procedural जितना हो सके उतना focus किया था, because procedural is something which कभी भी आपको उतनी clarity नहीं हो पाएगी एज ए स्टूडेंट, तो फिर वो आप प्रोसीजर से स्टार्ट करेंगे तो बेटर होगा. माइनर इज समथिंग विच यू कैन रीड एट एनी मोमेंट एंड विच यू कैन गेट थ्रू इट कभी भी किसी भी टाइम पे. तो मेजरली वहीं से शुरुआत करी, मैं तो यही सजेशन लूंगी.
Thank you so much, Shruti. I guess we had a very detailed discussion on CGPSC ka preparation and strategy, and we could hear it from Shruti herself. Like Shruti has cleared CGPSC with rank 9, right, Shruti?
Yes.
So it's something. It's a very big achievement. It's a very big achievement, I would say. Coming in the top 9 is not an easy thing, but it's not difficult also. If you are working hard, dedicated, you can definitely achieve whatever you want to. Okay, Ashruti, I want to ask a light-hearted question. If not judiciary, then आप क्या करते? या अगर लॉ
uh,
नहीं पढ़ रहे होते तो अभी श्रुति को हम किस रोल में देखते?
अगर मैं लॉ नहीं पढ़ रही होती,
Hmm.
so ma'am, in that situation, if I would say, I had that in my dreams to have कि मैं अच्छे से पढ़ा सकूं. So teaching line was अभी भी मैं किसी को पढ़ाती हूँ तो I feel like I have that thing in me शुरू से, क्योंकि मैं faculties को ही देख रही हूँ, इतने सारे teachers हैं मेरे family में, तो मुझ में वो एक teacher वाली quality, तो probably I would have gone to the academics in itself.
Okay, okay, that's a very good profession. Yes, if not law, then Shruti would have gone for teaching, and if not judiciary, I guess then also up professor role, yeah, something in academics choose करते. I
Probably
think
I
so.
would
Like,
I would ma'am, but यही था शुरू से कि जुडिशियल सर्विसेज ही करना है, तो आई नेवर फोकस्ड ऑन इट. एक दो तरीके का सिचुएशन होता है, एक कि आप जब फैमिली में लोगों को देखते आ रहे हो कि ये चीज होती है, मतलब अगर मेरे फैमिली में प्रोफेशन ये है तो मुझे मन होगा कि मैं ये प्रोफेशन मिल जाऊँ. दूसरा एक
hmm,
पर्सनालिटी होता है कि ये प्रोफेशन है तो इसमें तो डेफिनेटली नहीं जाना है. तो ये चीज
okay,
मेरे
yes,
शुरू से था कि आई वांट टू डू समथिंग रियली डिफरेंट. तो आई मेड माई माइंड कि आई
okay.
डू नॉट वांट टू गो इन दिस प्रोफेशन, बट इफ मेरे फेट में होता तो मेरे लिए ये प्रोफेशन ज़्यादा सुटेबल होता अगर जुडिशरी नहीं होता तो.
No, no. I guess like from the time I have seen you, I feel I have always told you also that you are a very deserving candidate, a very hardworking candidate. Plus, your personality also is suitable enough to become a judicial to serve in judiciary. और हमने आपसे बोला भी था that अगर आप जैसे एस्पिरेंट्स नहीं क्लियर कर रहे हैं तो फिर कौन क्लियर करेंगे, right? So this is how Shruti was. She was very hardworking, very dedicated, and very sincere also with everything, with her mocks and with her interviews and with her preparation. And Shruti, can you tell us like how beneficial was Law Seco's mocks and Law Seco's services? Uh, how beneficial was it for your exam?
Ma'am, I have that soft corner, if I would say, regarding this, because because as I said, ki for Madhya Pradesh earlier also, I was not sure that I will be able to clear Madhya Pradesh, but I had clear for the with 287 marks. So preparing for the exam for which I had not prepared earlier in 1.5 months, Losico was very helpful for me to actually get the exact notch where I had to focus for Madhya Pradesh. Secondly, I had taken Losico's test series also for the Chhattisgarh. That was very beneficial. Third thing, I had taken series for the Madhya Pradesh judgment, Chhattisgarh judgment writing in itself. That was also beneficial. And one thing which I liked about आप लोग का जो service आपने provide किया is that I had that one-on-one contact with the faculties which were who were checking my papers. तो मेरा जो लैकिनस था, जो जिस चीज़ पे मुझे वर्क करना था, मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा कंफर्टेबली उस चीज़ से रूबरू कराया गया था दैट यू नीड टू फोकस ऑन दीज थिंग्स. तो वो चीज़ें मेरे लिए बेनिफिशियल हुई थी. For mock interview, this was very shocking for me, if I would say, and I'm very thankful to all of you कि इतना ज़्यादा जो मॉक इंटरव्यूज लिया जाता है जनरली कहीं और नहीं लिया जाता. अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 15 मॉक इंटरव्यूज कंटिन्यूसली गिविंग इज वेरी कमेंडेबल. सो मैंने सारे मॉक इंटरव्यूज दिए थे अप्रॉक्सीमेटली 15 to 16. So that was very beneficial. Second thing, all the panelists who were there in the mock interview, everyone encouraged me. Not for a single time I thought कि मैं क्लियर नहीं कर पाऊंगी. ऐसा मुझे कभी भी नहीं है. As you said right now also, I do remember you used to say all these things that you will be able to clear, Shruti, and all the panelists used to say this. So पहला thing तो exam clear तभी हो जाता है when you find so many people behind you who are encouraging you. So these things were beneficial. And second thing, most of the questions, 2 to 3 questions, I have got directly from the mock interview itself. So these were the benefits I have got.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And we are so happy to hear this from you that we could provide, good services so that आप उस अपने ड्रीम को फुलफिल कर पाओ. So we feel like no more like we don't have words right now because जब आपका रिजल्ट भी आया था तो हम सब बहुत ओवरवेल्म हो गए थे और काफी इमोशनल थे that okay, the candidate's hard work has paid off, and kahin na kahin we have also contributed little bit to her success. We could join her in this journey. That was a very overwhelming moment for everyone. For all the other candidates and future aspirants, Shruti, do you have any tip, any exam preparation tip or some suggestion which you want to give as your last advice or suggestion?
As per the suggestion which I have given, I feel like that's enough. But the only thing which I would like to tell every student, two mantras which I have followed till my whole preparation journey is to have the patience and to maintain the consistency. I I do remember all those days when I actually used to cry at the night. What will happen if it does not happen? Because I have also seen one failure. So that was very this pressurizing thing. Every aspirant go through this thing. Everyone sometime you try to distract your mind कि चलो ये नहीं हो पा रहा है ये कर लेते हैं. We hear this thing कि बहुत ज़्यादा हार्ड वर्किंग स्टूडेंट्स के भी नहीं हो रहे हैं. लोग 6-6 7-7 साल प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं. बहुत डिमोटिवेटिंग ये चीज़ें होती हैं. और क्योंकि एग्जाम इतना टफ है आप डिमोटिवेट होएंगे ही. but just make sure that you have that patience, maintain your level of patience. Second thing, just be consistent with your preparation. कुछ भी हो जाए, 2 घंटा पढ़ना है दिन में तो पढ़ना ही है. मेक श्योर अबाउट इट. मेरा ये था कि मेरा जीपीए कॉलेज में इट वाज गुड, तो आई हैव गॉट सजेशन फ्रॉम मेनी ऑफ द पीपल दैट व्हाई यू आर नॉट डूइंग कॉर्पोरेट जॉब. Many of the students who had the less GPAs, they are doing corporate job, but I had made this mind sure in my mind that no, I want to go in this field only. Why would I choose other field? It's not about the different not about this thing ki koi field acha hai bura hai, but it's about where you are comfortable to serve the society in itself. I am comfortable to serve in a traditional manner to by becoming a judicial officer. I will go here only. So maintain the patience, have the consistency, do your hard work. You all will sail through it, and all the best for it.
Thank you so much, Shruti. I think that was a very, very important piece of your mantra, which, of course, patient and consistency, very important. As Shruti also told that demotivation होगा ही, तो please आप अपने stress को control में रखिए and don't get demotivated. I would want all the students to perform best. You keep working hard, believe in yourself, don't settle for anything but the best. You make mistake, that is very normal, but आप वापस आ जाओ. Don't quit. As we started with the thing that you always restart after making your mistake, just learn from it. And one very important thing is that, our greatest weakness, I believe, is giving up.
Yes,
That is
absolutely.
one of the greatest weakness. So I feel the most certain way to succeed is try and try. Try just one more time. Restart again till you get what you are dreaming of. Like Shruti. Shruti didn't give up. See, she's here with flying colors and with such a good rank. Wish you all the best, Shruti, in this new chapter of your life as a judge. Now we are all going to refer to you as as judge in Chhattisgarh, and that gives us so much happiness and pleasure. We can't describe it right now in words, and we all are so proud of you. Law Seco is proud of you, because you have you have become an inspiration and one of the examples which can be set that hard work never, it never fails. It always pays. May
Yes.
God bless you, Shruti, with good
Thank
health,
you. Thank you
peace,
so much.
success, prosperity in your coming journey. Though you were unwell, very thankful to you, because we know today you were unwell, but you agreed to attend this session, and she did not hesitate a moment. She was like, "Yes, ma'am, I will do it." So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling me here. Thank
Thank you, and congratulations once again.